Hello piano lovers! I received a request from one of my subscribers to show how to make technical exercise out of the piece you play. So I prepared a few pieces starting from an easy repertoire and finishing with the difficult repertoire. So here I have Prelude by Johann Sebastian Bach. This is from his Little Preludes and Fugues. The Prelude is in C major, and I will remind you by playing first line. So this is the Prelude, and this is just one page piece, but I found 3 difficult places in this Prelude. So I'm going to take one place and then practice it multiple times, like make out of it a special exercise, technical exercise, and just practice it. So one place, it's on the last line, when the hands move simultaneously at the same time, but move somewhat different directions, kind of contrary. It's just one measure. So I would practice it maybe one hand at a time, and then the right hand, and then by both hands. And I will practice it with the dynamics I need in the piece, with the same fingering is supposed to be I'll be playing when I'll play the piece from the beginning to the end. With the articulation, I will play the piece, right? So everything should be here played the same as if you are playing the piece from the beginning to the end. So this is one place, and then the other place is the very next measure, scale down and up. Here it is. And I will divide this passage into 2 units. One unit is scale down, and I stop. So I will practice a few times with the same articulation and dynamics, and of course fingering as it's supposed to be in the piece. And then the second unit, the scale up. And after I practice it separately, then I combine combine both units. So this is my second piece, and I can practice it anytime I sit down at my piano to practice the piece. So I will not start from the beginning of the piece. Yeah, I will start just that particular place. Okay, and the third place, I think it's this place when the left hand plays the mordent. So I'll just practice the mordent because it's just one note with a mordent. I can play it from other notes, yeah, just to practice it. But because the original mordent is with F sharp, yeah, with the black key, starting on G and then F sharp. So I will also start on white key, but make sure that my mordent will be with the black key. So I can start on A, or on B, or on D, or on E, just to practice a mordent. So that's how I would practice. This is one example with Bach's Prelude. The next example I have here is by Piotr Tchaikovsky from his Italian song, and the Italian song is from children's album Opus 39. So that's how it sounds, the Italian song. So I found difficult places in this song. One place is measures 26 and 27, and the other places measures 42 and 43. Both places sound very similarly, and the right hand plays fast notes, 16th notes. But what is most difficult in these both places is that the 16th notes are written with different articulations. The first two notes are legato, while the other four notes are staccato, and then again legato, and then four notes next staccato. And the next measures 42 and 43, absolutely the same articulation. So I would just practice two measures, yeah, just one place at a time. Again, with the same articulation and dynamics and expressiveness I want in this piece, okay? I'll practice absolutely the same. Again, I want to make sure that you really, it's clear and that you understand that I'm not just taking a difficult place and making it, playing it mechanically. No way. I played with the same expressiveness as if I'm playing the entire piece from beginning to the end. Okay, this is very important. I think it is a mistake when musicians take a difficult place and just practice it mechanically without expressiveness. So I also can make a couple of units out of just a single measure. Listen. Yeah, this is one unit, just the two notes slower, and then second unit would be staccato. Yeah. I also can make it slightly different. Listen. So starting from the second beat. Yeah. So I started from the second beat, I played third beat, and I ended on the first beat again. And I stop. And then my next unit, again, 4 staccato notes and the very next note. And I play it again. After I practiced it few times, let's say 3, 4, maybe 5 times until I feel really it's in my hands, yeah? You could also practice it in a slower tempo. And then I want to combine measure 42 and 43. And when I'm ready, I also can play it in a faster tempo, just in the tempo of the song, which says moderato here. And then I play it one more time. And then I add my left hand. And since the other place measures 26 and 27 is similar, I will practice it absolutely the same as I practiced the measures 42 and 43, and I also can divide it into 2 units. I hope it's all good and you understand. Now, my next example is Nocturne in C-sharp minor, opus Posth, by Frédéric Chopin. I'm sure you know this Nocturne. This is the introduction. And I want to skip it to play the main theme. Then, there are a few difficult places, but I won't just focus on one. So, this one is in measure 15. This is a difficult passage. Why it's difficult? Because first of all, the left hand keeps playing duplets, while the right hand plays triplets, from eighth triplets, and then 2 16th triplet, so the tempo kind of getting faster in the right hand part. So listen. So definitely I would divide this measure into 2 units. So 1 unit is the 8th notes. Just that one. So I just played multiple times until I really feel it sounds very nice, comfortable, kind of stable in the key. So I feel the bed of the keys very well with my fingers. And of course I played with the correct finger numbers, with the correct articulation. And it also says con forza, which means with power, yeah, strongly. So I do play it quite loudly. And I stop. So this is my 1 unit. The 2nd unit I would practice is the other one, which is, and play it again. So I want to really emphasize the first notes of little each unit here. So I would really emphasize. So this is one, next one, and last one. So while I am practicing, I will emphasize that. So that I clearly hear the rhythm and how both hands are played simultaneously at the same time. And once I decide I want to move it a little faster, more into the tempo of the Nocturne, then my accented notes will be less and less. So listen. But I still play with expressiveness and with good legato. And after I practice this each unit, I would combine and play the entire measure. But before I do so for you, I would like to show you that you can also divide it into even smaller unit, like not starting from here, but starting from the very next beat, from C sharp, and then you even can do the very next unit, even smaller, which is one, yeah, so the very last, the smallest unit. So here we go with the correct finger numbers. Feel it as a one line, right? A line of 3 notes, and then connect with the previous unit. So it's gonna be, you can feel it, all of these 7 notes as a one line. And then add one more, the previous one, with the correct finger numbers. Yeah? And then the next one. Yeah? And then the entire measure as a one unit. Alright? So I hope you understand this. Let's go on. Now I have a fugue in E minor from Well-Tempered Clavier Book 1 by Johann Sebastian Bach. So here is the fugue. And so on. So I think the difficult place is the theme itself here. So listen, this is the theme. And so I would practice just that, and you can do it in the left hand, because the theme comes first in the right hand, then in the left hand. So throughout the entire fugue, I'll find the theme and just practice it. So it's in different keys. So this is a very good practice. So here is the left hand. So I would do it I want to play the fugue, okay? Now, of course, you can divide this two-measure theme into two smaller units so that you can practice better, yeah? So here is one unit, it's basically one measure. And then I stop, and here's the left. And then my second unit would be, and then the left hand. And I would practice it multiple times throughout the piece, right? So let's see, I'm finding the other theme, which is here in the right hand part. Right, so I would practice that theme, and then the left has it. So I will practice this. All right, moving on to the next piece, which is Ballade number 1 in G minor by Chopin. So here, this is very difficult piece. It has lots of difficult places. So I chose 3. So here is one. It is in coda. I'm going to play it for you. So this is part of the coda. Of course, you can play it faster. Right? Of course, you will play it fast because the coda says presto con fuoco. Yeah? Play it very fast with the fire. So here I can divide just that place into 2 units. So here is one. And I could play it as fast as I can, and with accents, with articulation, with dynamics, which is loud here. Yeah? And then even faster. And then if I want, I can add a little bit prior to that. So I connect. Yeah. And then I want to add the rest of the measure. So here we go. Okay, and I play it one more time. So I would practice it over and over, yeah, feeling comfortable in my hand, and with all the fingering and articulation and dynamics, everything, I want it to sound as a final destination. So the other place in the ballade I chose to show you for you, it's in measure 138. So again, you can divide it. I would divide it by 2 measures. So here is one, which is basically one measure repeated twice, right? And then the next unit would be, which you also can divide by 1 measure. So here is measure 1 of this unit, and that's it. So I will just practice this. You even can divide it even into the smaller units. It's absolutely up to you, wherever you feel needs more work, okay? So here it is. Right? I feel like coming down for me, I just need to work a little more here. Okay, so I practice that a few times, and then I combine and play it again. Okay, and then the rest of it. And then I combine these 2 measures, measure 140 and 141. Okay, so the other place is in measure 123. So again, this is just one measure, but you can divide it into definitely 2 units or even more. So I'll play it again. Definitely, I feel like I need to practice more the ending of these measures. So I will just use this as a unit. Yeah, and play a few times. And play it with the crescendo because it says crescendo by Chopin. Yeah, and to triple forte, so it's very loud. So I would try my best to play as loud as possible. And then I would add the previous beat, previous 2 beats. And play it again. Right, and again because it was not correct. And then from the beginning of this measure. So see, that's how you can work. So here I have the last example for you. This is from Mikhail Glinka and Ballakirev's transcription of the song, The Lark. So it has many difficult places, but I chose one for you to show. This is basically a scale moving up and down. So I feel that I need to practice more the scale down. The scale up, I feel comfortable. That scale down, that's what I feel like I need to practice more. So I can also just divide it into a couple of units. So I feel that little change here, that's where I need to practice more. So I will just take this part and just practice it. Again, few notes as a one line, right? As one unit. And then I can continue and combine the units. Just like this. And one more time. Yeah, and then I can start earlier and combine into one more unit. Yeah, do it again. And of course I have to do everything I want it to sound as a final, my final destination in this piece. Like all the dynamics, everything, lightness or whatsoever you want. Okay, and after I practice that place, then I can combine and play the entire passage. So I still didn't play it very well, so I will try one more time. Yeah, and then I would practice a little more. So I feel I'm not very satisfied yet, so I better continue practicing. But you have a wonderful practice. I hope this advice was helpful, and I'll be glad to answer your questions if you have, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a wonderful